Where God sins, he makes amends. In Matthew chapter 2, verse 13, it says that the wise men came and they brought gifts. We don't really know how many wise men there were. We know they're gifts, and there's only 3, and so many people think that it was 3 wise men, but it could have been up to like a dozen. And these gifts were very, very expensive. Commentators attribute special meanings to these gifts, like, for example, gold was given to Jesus because he's a king. But as I studied this text, I found a lot of commentators say that these gifts could have funded the trip to Egypt. If you're familiar with the story, the wise men tell Herod that there's a king going to be born. And so Herod says, to cover my basis, I'm going to kill all the kids in this area under 2 years old. The angel gave Joseph and Mary a heads up, and so they fled to Egypt. The trip would have been expensive, and they would have been able to use these gifts to pay for it. One of the messages of Christmas is, if that is where God is sending, then he has covered the ending. With God's plan and protection comes his provision. The Christmas story is reminiscent of Psalms 37:25, where the author has said, I've been young, I've been old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken or their seed beg for bread. It means that God will always provide for his children, always provide for those who are called according to his purpose. Joseph and Mary did not have to worry about this all of a sudden fleeing to Egypt. They were able to know that, okay, we got to go and we have everything that we need because God has provided it. How silly would it have been to worry when they have God's Son with them? And you and I have the same thing. How silly is it? Mary had Jesus inside of her, but we have Jesus inside of our hearts. Let us not worry, because let us remember that Jesus was forsaken on the cross so that we would never be forsaken.
Amen.